3.1 Psychology Personality. What is personality? According to Britaccon.com, personality is a characteristic that controls our way of thinking, feeling and behaving. From this we have certain moods, attitudes and opinions which are used to express feeling depending on certain circumstances and situations. Personality can be controlled by behavioural characteristics which are inherited from generations. However, they can also be acquired throughout life depending on situations that individuals have to deal with. Personality can have a big impact on how you act in life, and it also affects the path that you may go down. This is especially evident in sport, where we see certain individuals taking part in sport due to the type of characteristics that they have. For example, Andy Murray, a professional tennis player, takes part in an individual sport for most of the time of his career, possibly because he is seen to be an introvert, which makes him more motivated to take part in independent sports, as he enjoys working hard to get out of it achievements for himself. We can see he has this type of characteristic because of how he portrays himself in interviews about the sport and his performance. The trait personality theory. What are traits? According to collinsdictionary.com, a trait is a particular characteristic, quality or tendency that someone or something has. Traits can be dominant and recessive, all making up the person that you are. Traits can come from your genes, such as from your parents. However, you can also create your traits depending on life experiences. For example, you may be determined because of an event that has happened in your life to make you aspire to do better. There are many different traits that an individual can have, making them develop into the person that they are. They can fit into different theories and bands that have developed, which can help you to understand the type of person you may be. The Giordano-Narrowband theory. One band that traits can be put in to see what type of person you are is the Giordano-Narrowband theory. This was a study which analysed people's traits and placed them into the Type A category and the Type B category. Type A stresses that you lack patience when in social situations, however you have a strong urge for competition. It also suggests that you have a high desire to achieve goals, you're able to work quickly and under pressure, but this links to another trait, which is that you are more prone to having higher stress levels. However, there is a second type of person which is called Type B. This theory suggests that you can control your stress levels more and you prefer to do work at a steady pace and more thought-through pace. This can also mean that you maybe have a small desire to achieve as you aren't so determined and focused, making you non-competitive. It also suggests that you are more patient if you have a Type B personality. The limitations of this theory is that it isn't fully conclusive, as sometimes people can portray different personalities depending on the situation that they are in. This means that not everyone is only a Type A person or a Type B person. Sometimes they may portray both or a different one to what they normally would if they are put into a situation. This is common in sport because individuals can act differently to how they would when they are playing in a match, compared to how they act around their friends or at home. For example, a football player needs a high desire to win when they have to take the penalty, which leaves them put into the category of a Type A person. However, at home they may be very relaxed with little competition within them. This could additionally link to the fact that they play in a team, so need to adapt their personality to suit working alongside other people. This means that when they are under pressure, they may present themselves differently compared to how they might if they were under no pressure. This example shows that the Giordano-Narrowband theory isn't wide enough to fully take into consideration a person's full personality. It shows that you're not always a Type A person and you will not always be a Type B person. This means that the theory does have limitations to it. The next theory to do with trait theories is created by Eisenach. This is the trait theory of personality, which suggests that you can work across two continuums to suggest whether you have a stable personality or an unstable personality, also known as neurotic. A stable personality is seen as someone who reacts quickly and sharply to a situation. For example, in football, if a coach receives a decision from the ref that their player has a yellow or red card, they will argue with the referee because they are unhappy about that situation and decision. However, if you have an unstable or neurotic personality, the theory suggests that you change personality depending on the situation. Therefore, if we take the example of the yellow card, the theory suggests that on the first week of a player receiving a booking, the coach would react possibly angrily and frustrated. However, when the same thing occurs on the second week, they may change the way they act and agree with the ref, remaining calm at all times. Therefore, this theory suggests that having an unstable personality means you can change from week to week or day to day, depending on the situation, but also on how you're feeling as a person that day. This means you are unstable because you are open to change. The next two things that he identified on the continuum was the trait of extroversion and introversion. An extrovert is someone who prefers to be part of a group. They can be seen as being more outgoing because they enjoy being sociable. However, on the other hand, introverts are the opposite. They prefer to work alone and tend to avoid being part of large groups of people. This doesn't mean that they avoid all social interactions. However, it does mean that they aren't always as patient within groups. The reason why we may see these opposing personalities is due to the reticular articulation system, which is in the brain. This increases or decreases the level of arousal which stimulates you to either be an introvert or an extrovert. Extroverts are suggested to have a reticular articulation system, which inhibits their sensory stimulus, which means that they need more social interaction to help them to increase their levels of arousal. However, introverts have enough stimulus from their reticular articulation system, which means that they don't feel as though they need to seek out social interaction because they already have a high enough arousal level. This means that they are happy with their own company and don't feel that they need to work alongside anyone. Once you have identified whether you are an introvert or an extrovert and a stable or unstable person, you can place yourself on the chart shown on the screen to find out what your personality can be labelled as. For example, if you're an introvert, you see yourself as being an unstable personality, you'll be in the category of the melancholic, which is on the top left grey part of the chart. This means that you have a range of personalities, including being moody, anxious, and quiet. This theory has very few limitations, however, one of them being that you may be an extrovert in one situation but not another. This means that not everyone is the same sort of person in every situation. This means that they may change depending on where they are and who they are with. For example, if they're with their friends, they may be an extrovert and enjoy each other's company. However, when they're meeting new people, they may be a bit nervous and slightly more introverted. This means that the theory doesn't fully take into consideration how different people may act in different situations. It's only pinpointed on one scenario if you're having to decide whether you're an introvert or an extrovert.